These two phones are way closer than you think. Google's recently released Pixel 9 Pro and Samsung's established Galaxy S24 are competing for your pocket with their compact chassis and flagship features. So which of these two should you go for? Let's talk about that. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas and I love a compact flagship smartphone. Having all the bells and whistles that you need and want in a device that isn't absolutely huge and bound to fall out of your hand at any given minute, that's what these two phones are all about and what they're great at. When it comes to build and feeling in the hand, the Pixel 9 Pro is my favourite phone right now. Its flat sides are very subtly curved and glossy and give you that grip that you'll need thanks to the slippery matte back. It's actually slightly bigger than the base S24 and has very slightly bigger bezels with a considerably bigger punch hole if you care about that kind of thing. The harsher flat sides of the S24 in my opinion make it feel a little bit worse to hold, but if you're going to be putting cases on either of these, then I guess that doesn't really matter. They're both IP68 rated and run Gorilla Glass Victus 2 glass on front and back, so should be pretty similarly resistant to harsh weather, though don't expect them to be completely bulletproof, they're covered in glass. If I was spending $700 on a smartphone, I'd be running a case and a screen protector, but that's just me. Let me know if this is you in the comments. Google's phone is about 15 to 20% heavier than the Galaxy, which you definitely feel, and its taller camera visor as opposed to these shallower camera rings mean it's easier to scratch and more likely to get caught in your pocket if you don't run a case. But I do prefer the Pixel 9 Pro's visor as I think it helps the phone stand out. By contrast, the S24's camera rings are a little more toned down, but interestingly, in SDR content, apps and browsing socials, that kind of thing, the everyday stuff that you do on your phone, the Pixel 9 Pro screen was far brighter, and it felt it too. But when I loaded up HDR content on YouTube, it was the Galaxy that had the by far brighter image. This happened with several pieces of content, and I updated everything, the apps, the OSs, I'm really not sure what's going on here. I tried both phones in auto brightness, in max manual brightness, and had the same results. It seems that in SDR, the 9 Pro is way brighter, and in HDR, the S24 is way brighter. But in general, for most people, the 9 Pro's panel is just better day to day, due to it being just brighter overall. Under the displays, you'll find ultrasonic fingerprint scanners on both, and they're equally quick and reliable. Fantastic. If you like listening aloud, the S24 speakers are clearer at the cost of a bit of richness, and the 9 Pro speakers are definitely deeper and fuller, but they aren't nearly as crisp with capped details. Haptics are also very crisp on both, but I think the 9 Pros feel a little bit tighter, which helps it feel more of a complete package, especially at this price point. It's not a massive difference though. Where there is more of a difference is when fully pushing the phone's performance, such as high-end 3D games, in photo and video editing, and generally if you're a power user. I'm going to throw some benchmarks up on the screen for those people. It is worth noting that the Galaxy I have here is the Exynos 2400 model and not the Snapdragon version, which you might get in the US. So the numbers are going to be different depending on your region. As you can see, the S24 massively outperforms the Pixel 9 Pro, mostly in GPU and multi-core CPU performance. It's also worth noting that the Pixel has double the RAM at 16 GB over the 8 of the S24, though the S24 at 256 gigs has faster storage. Below that, the storage is actually the same as the slower on the Pixel 9 Pros. What this all translates to, and for most people, is that the performance is generally very similar, which means both are very quick. Phones these days are fast enough far below this kind of price point, let alone at this price point. And if you're a big social media user, you take lots of photos, generally not looking to massively push the phones, then either one is going to give you a phenomenal experience. However, if we're looking at things objectively, the S24 is substantially more capable from a traditional horsepower standpoint. And it actually flips around the other way when we start talking about battery life. Sadly, neither phone comes with the charger in the box, which is shameful, to be quite honest, but the battery sizes are rather different. The Pixel 9 Pro's 4700 mAh battery is about 20% larger than the S24's 4000 mAh battery, and as a result, it typically lasts longer on a charge, at least for me. Both phones are all-day phones, but where the 9 Pro ends the day with 30 to 35% left in the tank, the S24 is closer to 10 to 15% in the very similar busy and heavy day of usage, with max refresh rate and max resolution set in the settings. Neither offer world-beating charging speeds either, though the Pixel is a touch quicker across the board in these areas too, so if you're worried about battery life on your small phone, I would go with Google's model. It is considerably better. Alright, it's camera time, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Google has Samsung's number here, not only in the software processing, where you all kind of expect Google to do well, but also in the hardware. And my goodness, this hardware is effective. It's mad that the Pixel is only a smidge bigger, yet fits all the camera hardware in it from last year. A way bigger battery too, it's just kind of nuts. It doesn't matter what mode, focal length, anything you really do, the 9 Pro just gets better photos. And that's probably what you expected coming into it, but realistically that is also the case. And specifically when pinching in, the 5x optical setup on the Pixel is substantially more detailed compared to the limited 3x on the S24, and if you pinch further into sort of 10x or above, this difference only gets exacerbated. There's no denying the S24 has some solid cameras, but they aren't the same kind of level as the Pixels. Both phones run Android 14 and will get supported for years, in particular 7 of them. Yet both phones have claimed to be supporting this year's models until 2031, which is likely far beyond how long you'll actually hold on to these phones, which is fantastic for the second-hand market, or those who really do only upgrade there every 7 or 8 years. Now's the bit I can't wait to talk about.
AI.
Yeah, woo. We love AI. Both phones have a suite of AI features. Samsung has its interpreter feature, its browsing assist that can translate and summarize web pages in the Samsung web app if you use that. There's also voice note, automatic transcripts and summaries, and of course the object removal tool and ability to actually move objects within the frame. Then we have instant slow-mo for taking regular video and slowing it all the way down, which is kind of novel. And right now, unfortunately, my unit doesn't have the likes of Drawing Assist and AI Sketch that are available on the new Flip 6 and the Fold 6 with the One UI 6.1.1, but right now it's not available in 6.1, a bit confusing there, which is the latest update. My Exynos version S24 doesn't have that yet, and we're not sure if it's going to be coming to the smallest model. As for the 9 Pro, it has its own magic editor, sky replacer, audio eraser, an excellent speech-to-text keyboard tool, but of course you also get the likes of Gemini Live, which is like having a full phone conversation with Gemini. I found its accuracy to be pretty hit and miss, and you absolutely shouldn't rely on critical information from it. And there's also Pixel Studio for generating AI imagery. That is similarly unreliable. You can get some good results, but again, it's pretty hit or miss. Then there's the Pixel Weather AI summary that's practically useless, to be quite honest. And of course, Gemini has taken over Google Assistant as the virtual hub of your phone, but this is also available on Samsung. I'd say that the Pixel definitely has the most complete AI package if that's the sort of thing you're into, and it seems to be a growing thing in popularity, but I'm not convinced by it. I don't use AI on my own phone, so this is a nothing burger to me. It's going to come down to your preferences. But I do love that both phones are going to be supported into the next decade. That is mega. Samsung's S24 comes in at $800 for the 128GB version and double the storage at about $60 more. And I do genuinely think it's worth going for that higher capacity model because it's also faster storage. Contrastingly, Google's Pixel 9 Pro is going for $200 more at $1,000 for the same storage, with double that storage coming in at $100 more. If I'm totally honest, and you're probably going to think I'm crazy saying this, but I believe the more expensive of these two actually presents the better value of the two. Its battery life, its display, cameras, design, software package, they're all kind of a level above Samsung's phone. And I think it's genuinely worth spending the extra money on it. If you're a power user or love to game on your tiny little flagship phone, then the S24 is the way to go. And if you want to spend less, then it's surely better for you in that regard too. But aside from that, the Pixel 9 Pro, for me, is one of the best small phones you can buy right now. It might be the best on the Android side. I just wish they'd ironed out all of those little issues that I had with the 8 Pro, but I guess you can't have everything. Let me know which of these two you'd pick in the comments below, and while you're down there, be sure to hit like if you enjoyed today's content and subscribe to never miss another upload. I've been Ryan Thomas, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.